Welcome back to another episode of Holla at a Scholar. You rolling with your street professor. And I want everybody to open up their ears, take out your pens and your pads, your smartphones, fasten your seatbelts because we're about to take this thing to another level. Holla at a Scholar. Welcome again. Another edition, Holla at a Scholar. Man, I'm so happy. The podcast is doing incredible. I want to thank all you guys for all of y'all support. And man, things are just basically on fire. And I'm telling you, I'm on fire also too. Listen, I'm just pumped up. I don't have any caffeine or anything like that. I'm just high on life. And I'm just so excited. I want to talk about a few things today. And on this podcast today, you guys, I'm going to jump into it because you know what? Today is Finance 101. I know you guys love that last Finance 101. If you didn't hear that last Finance 101, fire. You better go back and look at it. Finance 101. We're going to be talking about it today. And today, you guys, I'm going to jump right into it like I always do. The professor, I'm going to be talking about something that's really important. And I'm going to put a spin on it, you guys. And guess what? This game right now is tax-free. I'm going to say that again. I'm giving you guys some free game. You know, like Jay-Z said, he's trying to give you some $1 million game for $9.99. I'm giving you some tax-free game. You don't even have to pay for it coming from the professor. Okay? So I want you guys to think about that. Tax-free, taxes. That's right. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about taxes today. I'm going to talk to you guys about taxes. And here's something, just to start this podcast off. Did you know that there are 3 forms of taxes? That's the main thing. You'll be surprised that most people don't even know that there are 3 forms of taxes. And the professor is going to talk about those 3 forms today. So what do you mean 3 forms of taxes? I thought there's just one form of taxes. I thought taxes was just taxes. Hey, taxes is taxes. But I want to tell you guys something. There's different forms of taxes and there's different phases of taxes. And see, you need to know about those 3 forms of taxes. You got to know about those 3 phases. It's so important. Because let me tell you guys this, the rich in most cases stay rich because they understand the tax game. They know how it goes. They get tax advantage. And you should also get tax advantage also, too, if I were you. But here's the thing. Something that's not really being taught in college, nothing is being taught in high school. You're not being taught about taxes. So how do you expect for people to really know about these things if no one is teaching them? So that's what it's all about. Information is power. So the street professor is going to talk to you guys today about a few key things. And I'm going to jump right into it once again. There are 3 forms of taxes. And I'm going to tell you guys those 3 forms. The first form, you guys, is tax now. And that's the first form. That's what every American use. They use the tax now, like checking accounts, saving accounts, CD accounts, tax now. That's what the average American use, tax now. You get tax everywhere you go. So once again, 3 phases of taxes, how is that possible, Professor? Well, like I said, I'm going to tell you guys. So tax now. Okay, so let's talk about the second one. The second one is tax later. That's right, tax later. What do you mean by tax later? Well, tax later taxes are like things like pensions, 401ks, TSPs, 403bs. Tax later. You know, people that work on jobs for so many years and they have their retirement programs or their retirement plans. It's tax later, which means when they get ready to retire after working so many years, when they get ready to retire, then they have to pay taxes on the money that they gain. Think about that. That's crazy. So you work all your life. And you guys remember, I talked to you guys about 40, right? The average person works about 40 hours a week, works for 40 years, and then try to retire off of 40% of their retirement. And on top of that, they get taxed. Think about that. So we want to talk about that second phase of taxes, tax later or tax deferred, which means later. And then the third final one, you guys, is called tax advantage. That's where you want to be, in tax advantage column. Okay, so let's recap. First phase of taxes is tax now. Second one, tax later. And then the third phase is tax advantage or tax free. That's where you want to be. Okay, so we talk about tax free accounts. What do you mean by tax free accounts? Tax free or tax advantage. Life insurance. Think about that. Life insurance. I want you guys to know something when it comes down to life insurance. Or did you know this? You know, McDonald's, the owner, the creator of McDonald's, Ray Kroc, he started off with a life insurance policy. That's how he got his money to basically start that franchise. You guys see J.C. Penney's, the retail store. It's not doing pretty good right now. Started off when it came down to life insurance. And also, too, you guys, Disney, Walt Disney, it got started also, too, with life insurance money. So I want you guys to know that life insurance is not just for people who dies. See, a lot of us, especially those people who are taxed now, that's all they think about. See, all their lives, they're being taxed every day. So they live in survival mode. And that may be you living in survival mode. But here's the thing. You're either going to be living in survival mode, or you're going to survive, or you're going to thrive. You know, I believe that we should thrive. And I think you guys should believe the same thing. But most people, they live to survive. They don't thrive. Okay, so as long as you're in that tax now, you're going to be in survival mode. What I mean by in survival mode, hey, you got a job just over broke, which means you're only getting just enough. So the average American right now is about 1 to 2 paychecks away from being homeless, 1 out of 3 in debt. They're struggling because they don't understand the money game. They don't understand the tax game. So here's the thing. They're in the tax now column. So like I said before, they're not thriving. They're just surviving. Is that you? So with this Finance 101, I want to give you some major games so you come out of that survival mode and then you can begin to thrive. Okay. Most people, you're not going to hear what I'm talking to you about. You don't hear it every day. Okay. But I'm giving this to you. Okay. So listen, and we talk in terms of the third form of taxes, tax advantage. And I'm talking to you guys about life insurance. Okay. So here's the thing. Life insurance. Well, most of us think that when we have life insurance, it's a vehicle where when we die, then our beneficiary gets some money. But think about it. I just told you guys, major organizations. I'm talking about McDonald's, the number one McDonald's. McDonald's, put it this way. I'm going to tell you guys, a scholar going to talk to you guys about this. If I said to you guys right now, who sells the most coffee in America? You probably would say right away, oh, Starbucks. Nope, Starbucks doesn't sell the most coffee. McDonald's does. You know why? They have more locations. McDonald's got the game locked. Even though you may see cars around the corner at Chick-fil-A. You may see cars around the corner at those other the burger stand that's popping right now. You may see cars in and out, cars around the corner in and out. But see, here's the thing. You don't see an in and out on every corner, but you see a McDonald's almost everywhere. So here's the thing. McDonald's sells more coffee because they have more outlets. And let me give you guys an example. No, I digress. I'm jumping ahead of myself. The scholar jumping ahead of himself. But here's the thing. Life insurance is not only for people who dies. And like I said to you guys before, most of those individuals who are in that tax now column, most of those individuals who are in survival mode, those are the individuals that think like that. Well, I'm being taxed all my life. I'm in survival mode. When I die, if I do have life insurance, my peers or my beneficiary will get the proceeds. That's how we think. But here's the thing. When we're talking about life insurance, and I want you guys to put this in your database, put it in your brain. Life insurance is basically wealth transformation. I'm going to say that again. Wealth transformation. What do I mean by wealth transformation? It's about transferring wealth from one generation to the next generation. Think about that. So you get life insurance like, what's his name? Nipsey Hussle. Think about that. He said in one of his songs, $1 million life insurance policy. He said it in his song, and it's true. He had policies on him. So when he passed, unfortunately, the beneficiary got the proceeds. Now, you want to stop police brutality? You want to stop racial profiling? The professor going to drop some knowledge. What if all of the young people had life insurance policies on them? You think they're going to be beating people up? They have to pay everybody out? Just a thought. Think about that. I can stop police brutality right away if everybody get financially educated and people get life insurance policies on them. Do you think that the police department is going to beat somebody up with a $3 million life insurance policy on them? They'll think before they do it. And here's the thing. When you are in survival mode, when you are ill-informed, when you have no financial education, guess what? People just basically prey upon you. No value. But let me get back to what I was saying. 3 forms of taxes, tax advantage. That's one advantage, life insurance. And there's several others also too. So, but I want to go back to tax now once again. See, when you think about tax now, basically everywhere we go, we get taxed. We go someplace and we buy something, we get taxed. We buy a car, we get taxed. Tax. So we get our fair share of taxes, over our fair share of taxes. But in terms of tax advantage, how many outlets do we know that we can actually benefit from tax advantage? So those are the type of things I'm talking about. So I'm telling you guys about life insurance as a vehicle to where you can actually receive some tax advantages. There's other things. You ever heard of annuities? Most people don't even know about those. The professor dropping some game right now. Listen, man, stay pumped up because I know we talked about money. A lot of times, when you start talking about money, people get angry, especially broke people. They get real angry when you start talking about finance and money. But here's the thing. If you want to get out of your condition, you got to start talking about finance. You got to start talking about money because most people don't plan to fail, but they fail to have a plan. I'm going to say that again. Most people don't plan to fail. You don't just wake up and say tomorrow's a great day to fail. No, but they fail to have a plan. So the things that I'm talking about right now, I'm trying to show you and teach you about the money game so you can put a plan together. Because once you're financially educated, I'm telling you, your whole life turns around because you understand the numbers, you understand the facts, and you understand the figures. And remember what I said last time. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make dollars. See how the professor flipped it? If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make dollars. So you got to be financially educated. And once you're financially educated, your whole reality changed. Let's get back into that third form of taxes, tax advantage. Let me give you guys an example. Once again, McDonald's. I hope they don't come after me. I'm buying that in Jesus' name. But here's the thing. I'm telling the truth. It's just facts. It's just facts. And when I'm talking to people, it's all facts, but it's no fear. Because here's the thing, you guys. When you empower yourself, you put the creator first, fear begins to fear you. I want you guys to know that. But here's the thing. You got corporations that this is how they get major tax advantages. Here's the thing. Like this certain fast food restaurant, they have heat lamps, which means they have a policy per se where if the food goes past 3 minutes or whatever, throw it in the trash. So it goes in the heat lamp, go past so many minutes, throw it in the trash. But do you think they're throwing it in the trash? They're not throwing it in the trash. But they will say they threw it in the trash, which means, let's say if they sold 200 burgers in one day. They'll say, we sold 200 burgers, but we threw away 100. Wait a minute. If you sold 200 and you threw away 100, what does that mean? That means I lost half of the burgers. So it breaks even. I don't pay any taxes. For those of you guys who listen to what I'm saying, just read between the lines. So here's the thing. Losses are being recorded to offset the taxes. So there's so many different ways people use tax advantage. Okay? And I gave you guys life insurance, and now we're going to talk about annuities. Most people don't even know anything about annuity. Annuities, man, it's crazy because a lot of athletes use annuities, and they're not the ones that are financially educated about annuities because the average athlete goes broke within 5 years, believe it or not, simply because they don't have financial education. But if they had this education, if they had this knowledge and wisdom that I'm trying to give you now, and if they knew how to learn how to use their own money, and that's why I admire people like LeBron James, certain individuals who are educating themselves about finance, Jay-Z, all these guys are educating themselves about finance, and that's what it's all about. But here's the thing. An annuity. When you're dealing with annuities, it's a contract, once again, with an insurance company. There it is again, wealth transformation, insurance companies. An annuity is a contract with an insurance company. Now, here's the thing about these annuities. Whew, the professor want to give you guys some knowledge. I want to drop a bomb right now. Listen, man, the bank's going to get mad at me. Here's the thing. When you're dealing with annuities, when you're dealing with an annuity, you guys, it's basically a contract with an insurance company, and it can be used certain different ways for like retirement strategies, right? It's not used like a stock market strategy where you got money's on the market. So if the market goes up, you make money, but if the market goes down, you lose a lot of money. An annuity is sort of different, right? Because you can have different types of annuities, right? Like an index annuity, fixed annuity, a variable annuity. But let's talk about index annuities, okay? Index annuities, the S&P 500, top 500 American companies, index annuities. So you got these annuities, right? But these annuities, no one can touch them. Creditors can't touch them. Bankruptcy can't bankruptcy can't touch them. I ain't gonna even say that, but no one can touch these annuities, okay? The bottom line is that rich people set themselves up where no one can really touch them, and they can also receive tax advantage. Because when it comes down to like retirement vehicles, you know, when you have a retirement vehicle, you could be taxed anywhere between 25 to 45%. But if you knew exactly how to use the tax game, you could avoid those taxes for right now. And what I mean by avoid those taxes for right now, there's several different ways. And here's the thing, you guys, some things are to be told, but not sold. I'm going to say it again. The game is to be told, but not sold. Okay. Let me turn it back around. Most people say the game is to be sold, not told. I say the game is to be told, not sold. I'm not selling this information to you guys. I'm giving you guys free information. Okay. Coming from the street professor. But here's the thing. There's a way where you can avoid those taxes. Okay. Now, if you want to know how to avoid those taxes, I'm not going to go into details right now because this stuff is real complex. You get my point? It's regulated. It's real complex. And I'm not going to just say certain different things right now because there's different situations for different circumstances. But here's the thing. If you want to know more, just go to RoryDouglas.net once again. If you want to know more, go to RoryDouglas.net. And then the professor can tell you all about it. Okay. But I'm just letting you guys know about annuities. Where people can't touch them. There's ways to avoid certain taxes. You can set them up for retirement vehicles. There's a whole lot of stuff. But going further into Finance 101, man, I'm going to drop some major game on some other stuff also, too. You want to catch the next Finance 101. I want to say it right now. I can go even deeper, but I don't want to say everything right now. I don't want to let the cat out the bag. So here's the thing. So we're dealing with annuities. That's another scenario when it comes down to how you can use tax advantage. I talked about life insurance also, too, how you can use tax advantage. So the professor then gave you guys some heavy stuff already, okay, talking about tax advantage. Okay, so that's that. So when we talk about tax later or tax deferred, those individuals who work in jobs like who have pensions or people who have 401ks, things of that sort, you know, they have something you guys just call the 59.5 rule and the 70.5 rule. So I'm talking to you guys about these things. So if you have a pencil or pen, take some copious notes, write it down. The 59.5 rule, okay, and the 70.5 rule. So here's the thing, you guys. When you're on a job, there's something that's called a 59.5 rule, which means that you can't really touch your retirement plans like 401ks, things of that sort, 403bs, pensions, TSPs. You can't touch them until you get to the 59.5 rule, because at 59.5, that's when Uncle Sam is knocking on the door saying, hey, I want you to pay me these taxes. That's the 59.5 rule. OK, but before then, you can't touch your retirement. You may borrow from it, but you're going to get taxed very heavy with a penalty. OK, but the 59.5 rule basically is the golden handcuffs, which means I can't really move my retirement because I'm not 59.5 yet. So I can't really move it. Only thing I can do is maybe borrow from it. But then there is some tax penalties for me borrowing from my retirement plan. However, with the 59.5 rule, there are some exceptions, because when you're working on jobs, there's only 3 ways, you guys, where you can actually move your retirement. The first way is, let's say you are past 59.5. You can move your retirement. The second way is you no longer work for the company, or if you got fired or laid off or you no longer work there, you have the right to move your retirement. And you'll be surprised how many Americans have 401ks just sitting up, have retirement plans sitting up. They're afraid to move it because of the taxes. They don't even know they can avoid those taxes when it comes down to annuities. Okay, I'm just giving you guys some information. So here's the thing. The third way, if you brought your retirement from one company to the next company, you can move your retirement. Okay. Then you have something you guys call the 70 and a half rule. That 70 and a half rule means when you get at 70 and 70 and a half, if you don't begin to take from your retirement, which means if you don't start pulling money from your retirement plan, then the government is going to jump in. Uncle Sam's going to jump in. He's going to tax you a very, very heavy penalty. It's called RMDs. You got to take monies when you get to a certain age. But most people, they keep their retirement there because they're afraid because of the taxes. But there's so many things you can do, you guys, to offset those taxes. And there's so many plans you can put together. But once again, I don't want to go too in depth with it right now because, hey, some things is, like I said, to be told and not sold. So the professor don't want to say certain things right now. If you want to know more about it, go to RoryDouglas.net. Once again, RoryDouglas.net. I would love to talk to you guys about it. Okay. So that's another form when we're talking about tax advantage once again. Okay. Here's another thing you guys need to know, that when it comes down to the young people, the young folks, the millennials, and then the young kids. And by the way, you guys, millennials have zero savings. I'm going to say that again. Can you guys believe that? The millennials today have zero savings. If the young people have zero savings and the young people are the future, and they are, what's going to happen in the near future if they have zero savings? We have to think about that. And here's another thing, guys, girls, women, young boys, everybody, because the professor talks to everybody. If the millennials have zero savings, and now we see AI, artificial intelligence, is in America right now, heavy. A machine is about to take your job. All of this stuff is happening. You got to financially educate yourself. I can't say it enough. You got to financially educate yourself. We have to start talking about finance. So you can no longer tell your kids, mom, dad, go to school, get a good education, get out and get a job. We got to start equipping our kids. We got to start talking about finance. We got to put information into our kids' mind. We got to give them some nuggets, give them something to build off of. So let's get back to taxes again. Okay, you guys. So I talked about the third phases of taxes, tax advantage, and I gave you guys a little game on the second phase because we talked about that also too. Okay. But here's the thing. When I was talking about the kids, listen, if the millennials have zero savings, there's so many advantages where you can set up plans for young kids where when they get older, you can just put a little finance aside for the kids monthly. So when they get older, they're getting compounding interest and they're basically getting tax advantages. So when they do get of age and when they get ready to go to college, they have funds sitting there for them. So the parents have to start setting things up for the kids now, because that's one of my passions when it comes down to kids, because I'm a college specialist. OK, I help a lot of kids get grants and scholarships. And it's sad to say, you guys, especially minority children, last year in America, almost $1 billion unaccounted for scholarships and grants. We're talking about tax advantages and all these different types of things. Once again, a lack of financial knowledge, a lack of financial literacy. So here's the thing, you guys. Oh, I can't say that right now. Can't say it openly. But here's the thing. Once again, if you want your kids to get some scholarships and grants, and you want to know how your kids can win in terms of college planning, once again, go to RoryDouglas.net. Okay? RoryDouglas.net, once again, when it comes down to that. All right? So let's move forward. Let's talk about Tax Now. Okay? Tax Now vehicles. We want to talk about that. Okay? You know, when it comes down to Tax Now, you guys, I want you guys to educate yourself. So therefore, you can avoid all of these Tax Now vehicles, because it's all about getting into the third column. Remember what I said. Most Americans are just surviving. They're in the Tax Now column. So you want to move from the Tax Now column to the Tax Advantage column, because there's three forms of taxes. And I gave you guys those three. And I basically set it up pretty good, the foundation, and just gave you guys some basic information about tax advantages. OK, so I don't want to sit on this podcast today and talk about a whole lot of things in regards to taxes, because there's so many different scenarios. And there's different situations for different people. But I basically wanted to get the point across to just let you guys know that there's 3 forms of taxes. And I think that just telling you this is better than a song. This is better than going out to a club on the weekend. I just gave you guys some major information, but we can go more in depth. Okay, I could go more in depth right now. And the next Finance 101, you don't want to miss it, because I'm going to start dropping some major game. I'm going to be talking about some IRS codes. I'm going to be telling you guys some things, and you're not going to believe it. And you guys will see why the rich stay rich and why the rich is winning, because they understand financial literacy, and they understand the money game, and they understand tax advantage. Okay, and here's the thing. I'm giving you guys this information for free, because I'm a financial educator. It's different than a financial advisor. I just want you guys to know this. Financial advisors charge people for information. Okay? And that's exactly what the rich and the wealthy have been doing. They've charged people for information. You know, doctors have their own language. Lawyers have their own language. Everything is done to keep you outside the game. Okay? Because there's so many different cliques. But here's the thing. The street professor is giving you guys the language, because, like I said, I went from the streets to corporate suites. All right. And I learned the hard way. When I was in the music game, I lost a lot of money because I didn't understand the tax game. I didn't understand how money works. And I got played a lot of times from lawyers, accountants. But guess what? I learned the hard way. But you know what? They can't trick me no more, because I'm financially educated. So what I want to do is, and now what I'm not wanna, I never say wanna, and that's something I want to tell you guys. Don't say wanna, say you're gonna, okay? Say you're gonna, don't say you wanna. That's the reason why I'm going to give you guys this information, because I want to make sure that I free a lot of people who listen to this podcast, okay? Because like I said, this podcast is coming from my heart. This is stuff is not scripted. I have no notes. I'm just talking to you guys, okay? So once again, 3 forms of taxes. I hope you guys learned a lot today. This is the professor once again. I went from the streets to corporate suites, and I'm going to save a seat for you guys in the classroom. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys once again on the next podcast. You don't want to miss it. Finance 101 is going down next week. Okay, so stay tuned. Holla at a scholar, you guys. I love you. Take care and enjoy the rest of your week. God bless you. I want to thank everybody for rolling with your street professor. We're going to be here every single week. Same place, same time, Monday. And listen, I want you guys to subscribe right now. And if you want to catch up with me, just simply go to RoryDouglas.net. Once again, RoryDouglas.net. Holla at a scholar. I got a seat waiting for you in the classroom. Take care.